Welcome back to Severe MMA, and I'm joined today by the raw bastard himself, Will fucking Fleury. How
Love
are you doing, Will?
it. Fair play. Love getting that proper introduction.
Yeah, it's a shame that they kind of cut it out. I saw they had effing Fleury,
I think that.
the last one, but they need to just go full raw and go for the fucking name.
I don't think there's any limitations anymore. But until then, it's going to be Will F and Fleury anyway.
Yeah, sure. Baby steps, baby steps. We'll get there in the end. So I suppose the first question I have for you is, how is Spud Life treating you since you don't have to cut any more weight?
Spud Life's a lot more fucking, I suppose, what, copious after the fight. Can go down on it a bit, and I'm back up to about 94, 95 kilos now. So enjoying the Spud Life at the moment.
Enjoying not cutting weight. And obviously you're coming off a big win over Justin Moore at Bellator Dublin there just a couple of weeks ago now. So I suppose like you're someone who, I know you've talked before, like you really hate kind of people like talking about focusing on your losses when, let's say, you put together a string of wins and all of a sudden a one loss comes around and that's the focus. So how good does it feel, I suppose, for people to be talking about your win now?
Yeah, it's grand. Like, look, it becomes about the next thing fairly quickly. You know, the buzz of winning, it lasts for a couple of days, and then it's just, right, what's next? And I was very happy to get that win. I was very happy the manner of the victory, like getting them out of there in the first round and doing it kind of nice and clean without getting touched up or anything. I was happy with that. But, like, look, I've faced far bigger challenges in my career before this. I want to get back to facing those big challenges. Like, and look, to me now, it's just about getting that next date, getting the next name, and going and smashing that guy. And if I continuously do that for long enough, good shit's gonna happen. Like,
And as you said, so you had a good win and first round submission obviously over Justin Moore. So what were the emotions like on, I suppose, leading up to the fight and on fight night itself? Could you just kind of elaborate on that?
yeah, like it's weird buzz anytime you're coming off a loss. You're a little bit more just like hungry and angry, and there's also a little bit more of this like, oh fuck, you know, the last time all this happened, it led to a really horrible feeling, and it's like you consciously don't want to acknowledge that, but your brain remembers it. So you are kind of like playing with that thing of like, this could all end horribly if you don't fucking do this properly. And I think it's like, it's not a bad thing. I've bounced back both times very well. Like, you know, I beat fucking Sean Taylor and ain't one guy after my first loss, and then coming back and like, look, Justin Moore wasn't the best fighter I've ever fought, but at the same time, I dealt with him very, very well. He's given everyone trouble in the first round, and I was very happy to like not let him give me any. Like after that first exchange, it was just, you know, waiting for me to finish him basically. So happy, very happy, but like, yeah, like it's a weird buzz leading into that fight week. You know, it's not as pleasant as like coming in off a win.
And is it, I suppose, relief more so than anything getting that win?
The big wave of emotion that hit me, even in the cage, it was this sense of like, oh, thank fuck, and you're nearly like you've nearly forgotten anything positive. Like any positive emotion can come from that night or something. You know, last September, like, oh, you know, I haven't really talked too much about this, but like last September, I ended up fucking in hospital that whole night and kind of half thinking my career might be over that night. They spotted something in a scan that they were a bit concerned about. And then nearly like when I left that the next day and the next morning, I was kind of relieved. I was a bit like, right, at least I'll continue to have a career after this. And that was kind of a nice little perspective to get on the whole thing at the end of it. But ultimately, last September was one of the worst nights of my life. Like, and you know, you're going
Well,
into that same environment, into that same arena, and like consciously, I don't really focus on any of that shit at the time because what fucking good is it going to do you? But afterwards, then you're like, oh yeah, that weight was there. I did feel all that. It was like, you know, and that sense of relief is huge. So like, I just spent about fucking 4 or 5 hours with this fucking shit eating grin either side of my face. Thank fuck this went okay. And like, yeah, I remember why I do this shit now.
yeah, and so you touched on a few things there. So firstly, I suppose I assume that the brain scans are showing up okay now these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, geez, I definitely wouldn't be
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
Basically, they thought they saw a brain bleed, and they called me. Like, I got taken out to Tala and scanned straight away after the fight. Like, that's just protocol if you've been knocked around badly in a fight. Um, and then as I was coming back into the tree arena, actually, I got back in and I was up in the stands having a pint, and I just looked at my phone. My phone was buzzing away anyway, and I thought it was all going to be condolence messages and shit. So I didn't really look at it. And then when I did, I had 6 missed calls off like Bellator people and off like Dan Healy and other people. So I knew something was up. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I reported down to the medical room, and they basically told me, look, you have a small brain bleed, we think. And then straight away you switch into this really logical mode where I was like, well, I'm still talking and it's been quite a while. It's obviously a very slow bleed. I'm going to survive anyway. I was like kind of very logical straight away about it, but it did scare the shit out of me, no doubt about it. Like,
Oh, understandably. I mean, everyone kind of knows what comes with the territory of the sport, and but I'm sure it's still petrifying once you actually hear that news.
it turned out the guy misread the scan and it was just an artery that was a little bit
No
infected.
way.
Yeah. So thank God, like, and that was like, huge relief.
You had one job, one job.
Fuck it, man. I said, after those type of situations, just be grateful. Be grateful for the fact that nothing is fucking wrong.
Of course. And so
So
as you mentioned there, like, was it important to get that win back in the three arena, where you suffered your last loss, and obviously it was a very tough fight. I mean, you showed incredible heart to kind of survive the 3 rounds. Obviously, you took a lot of big shots. You've talked about this yourself many times, but was it important for you to kind of get that win? Like, kind of, I know you said you weren't really thinking about it too much, but to go back to the place where it happened and get that win there rather than anywhere else.
Yeah, I suppose, like, look, the first experience I had in the arena was so fucking positive. Like, that was an amazing night, that first time I came out. And, like, even last September, man, I think people forget how big a reaction I got from the crowd. Like, as in, I got a fucking huge pop when I came out. And it was a weird one. It was nearly like I owed the fans something, was how I was feeling that whole, like, the last camp there. It was like, I want to be able to fucking show you what I actually am. And I owe it to myself to show you, look, fuck, I am that damn good. And give me that support still, and I'll go out and smash it the next time. So I didn't feel it as like a bad thing that I was going to get to go back there again. But I did feel like I had a responsibility to show a better fucking light on myself after that. And look, please God, now I'll get a hell of a lot more chances to fight in the tree arena. And let's build it back up. Let's get that fucking big guy over here. Let's get the likes of Fabian Edwards. Let's get somebody good over. And I'll smash that cunt next time too. Like, so yeah, look, it's nice to have that one gone and out of the way. And it's like, right, it's a positive thing again now. And there is no weight. But I never really felt it as in it would be a bad thing. I never thought like, oh shit, I've lost my last fight here. It's gonna be a different buzz this time. Like, it always seemed like a positive.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about the Fabian Edwards fight, or a potential fight in a little bit, but just on the finish itself. So you obviously submitted him by head and arm choke. It seemed that you were kind of almost looking for that kind of earlier on in the round. Were you kind of looking specifically for that submission, or how were you approaching the game plan?
Not really. Like, they work well on big guys because their muscle chokes them. So I was grappling with a lot of stockier guys in that camp, and I pulled off a good few. But like, I'm not sure. Like, I can't remember whether or not I was thinking about it earlier in the fight, to be honest. It's like he left himself on when he went for that guillotine and I came around the side of it. I kind of think just mentally the fact that like every little buck and escape he tried to get, I was shutting it down straight away. Like, I'm working with Kieran Davern down in SBG Tullamore, and I feel like my grappling game has just come on a shitload since. I was always a pretty good grappler, but now I'm at that level where it's like, I know what you're about to do, and I know I'm about to shut it down. And I know the next 3 options after. Like, you're going to do this, then you're probably going to try and do this, then you're probably going to try and do this, and I'll end up here. So, like, at the start of an exchange, I'm seeing where I'm going to end in that, And I think that he was aware of that fairly quickly on. It was like, everywhere he went, I was just ahead of him. And that's very disheartening. And he's a power-based guy. And thankfully, like, I was in the right place every time to shut down that power. So when you've got power and you're trying to use it and you're gassing yourself out, and it's not even having an effect, because if you look at his first few like minutes of every fight, he is milling guys because he's just ridiculously powerful. Where I was like, no, I can shut that down. I'm that good, and I'm not gassing at all here, and you're fucked. And I think, like, mentally being able to shut him down like that and being that little bit, like, being that much better and being just that little bit more aware, that's a very powerful thing. So yeah, I was fucking. I'm sorry, I forgot what the question was there.
No, you're grand. No, that you answered perfectly. So I want to talk to you now about Fabian Edwards. So there's a bit of a beef that's kind of been evolving, shall we say, over the last kind of couple of years. Where did it all stem from? I know you said before he was kind of like celebrating your losses, and like you spoke, I think even before the Norbert Novenny Jr. fight about wanting to fight him. I suppose where did it all stem from?
Years ago, like 3 years ago, roughly. I think we were both undefeated amateurs, undefeated pros at the time, and he did an interview saying, "I want Will Fleury next." I genuinely never even heard of the guy before this. So I looked him up and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's a good fight. That makes a lot of sense." And then basically, fucking, I went to Jude and I said it to Jude, and they wanted me to fight Mateus Frederick,
Yeah.
a different fella. And in the meantime, I ended up kind of getting signed to Brave. And then that got put on hold because I was signed to Brave, but they didn't have any events over that summer. And then I ended up going over to Africa. So it kind of got like madly delayed. Like, but even before I went over to Africa, I was always like, that's the lad. That's the fella I want to fight. And then in the meantime, fucking two of us have gone off and fought in a lot of promotions. He came over and trained with us about a year and a half ago. I can't remember exactly when. I think it was like 2018 or late 2018 sometime. Maybe it was even earlier, 2018. But yeah, basically fucking after that I was like, I don't know if we will fight now. And then he talked shit some other time, I think. And I was like, all right, this back on, this is brilliant. Because look, it benefits my career a lot more than it benefits his. And this is one of the reasons I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna fight for this one. I'm gonna fucking get as many wins in as I can, and hopefully he beats Costas Vincennes, and that keeps the momentum of that whole thing going. And we'll see where it ends up. Like, I would fucking love that fight. I would love that fight in Dublin. I think it's a fight that makes a lot of sense. I think we are two of the better middleweights around. Like, yeah, we're two of the best middleweights around, basically. So hopefully it can all fucking happen. But look, I'm going off and pursuing fucking whatever fight I can get for now. And look, he's matched up with Costas Vincennes at the moment. If he wins that, I get a couple of wins under my belt, then it's a realistic possibility. Right now, though, it doesn't look like it's going to fucking happen, unfortunately.
And as you mentioned, so he is matched up with Costa Vincennes for that London Bellator card. Was there any discussions prior to that matchup being made of you potentially facing Fabian, or?
Not
No.
realistic. Like, even I was pushing for big time the last Dublin card, obviously, and I knew that they were trying to line me up with Norbert, and that was like, look, I know Norbert personally. There's kind of been a relation, I knew him when I was living in London.
Trained together previously, and
yeah, and just a nice kid and a fucking killer too, and somebody who, like, even if you beat him, it didn't do much for my career. He's 3-0 at the time, but they basically told me, look, you take that fight or you're off the Dublin card. But before that, the Fabian, like, that fight, I thought made a hell of a lot more sense, and I think it would have been a hell of a lot bigger fight, and it would have whooped his fucking ass too, and my career would be in a much better place right now. But fuck it, shit happens.
yeah. And I know you mentioned kind of you want to kind of get to 10-2 by the time 2020 finishes. So how do you see that playing out at the moment? Like, how do you see your 2020 going? Obviously, you fought early in the year, but do you think you can get another 3 fights in?
Yeah, like, it's more than possible from my point of view. It's whether or not.
Maybe not with this coronavirus.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's fucking, the next fight seems like it's going to be the Corona fight. Like, but yeah, like, it's more than possible. Is it like, from my point of view, physically, I'm in great shape at the moment, and no major injuries, thank God. And I'm ready to go again whenever. Like, I've fucking stayed in shape. I've stayed doing even conditioning after this fight. Like, the next week I was in proper training. Like, so I kind of thought that I'd get a call for London. It looks like that card's fairly full up now. Hopefully this Corona thing doesn't get too crazy and I'm able to fight over in the States during the summer and then come back in October. And then I think maybe an Italian card by the end of the year if it all clears up over there. But look, like, you never know. The fight game's absolutely mental, man. And especially with the way things are virus-wise at the moment.
Doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah, and like, this is the thing, like, if it all gets cancelled, whatever, I can go and look for a release and maybe fight somewhere else once, and then hopefully fight in October again. We'll see how it all goes, But like, I feel like I'm fucking in my absolute prime right now, and even like, I've kind of got a bit of momentum from that. And even meant like, look, I know where I'm at.
You just want to stay active, really.
Basically, and I haven't felt this good in a long time. Like, even physically, like, it's the first time in a long time I haven't been in pain on a daily basis. Like, so it's kind of right. Get me out there. I know what skill set I have. I know what mentality I have. I know how far that can take me. So let's get me on that fucking road. But yeah, look.
Yeah, and so I suppose one of the as Bellator have kind of come into the European market and are very much targeting the Irish market. So we're seeing a lot of Irish fighters fighting in the Three Arena, say twice a year on the Dublin cards, and which is great. Something we haven't maybe seen as much are Irish fighters kind of fighting abroad and being matched up more frequently than just say the Dublin cards. Like, what is the process there? Is it like, are there discussions kind of ongoing with Jude Samuel and the matchmakers there to kind of get you matched up at the moment? Have they thrown out any potential dates for you at the moment, or how does that work?
I go through John for most of that stuff. That wasn't always the way it was, but it is. It seems more like that now. And pretty much, he's telling me the London card looks pretty full. They're at the States over the summer. Now that was pre-Corona going mental and all that sort of thing. But that's the last word I've heard, and it's all a bit vague. Like, look, there's nothing definite within that. I'd kind of like to have a better line of communication, and even if the promotion kind of let me know a little bit more what was going on, and then I can plan accordingly, and I can fucking, go, okay, I'm going to have a 3-week down period here, and then I'm going to go hell for leather into the next thing. But right now, literally, I don't know. I could get a call for London, and I'm going to be ready if I do. So I'm training my balls off right now. And plus, like, I'm just in that mindset now where it is just like, right, fuck it, something good's going to happen. You'll be ready. And I just feel like, to be honest, like, it's a weird buzz, but I'm just like, right, good shit's going to happen soon. You know it is. Just stay where you are. Stay doing what you're doing.
And as I mentioned, I think it's a great thing that the Bellator have kind of come in so strongly into the Irish market, and there's so many Irish fighters being more active and put on a platform like Bellator. Is it a bit weird when the big announcement where the UFC are coming back to Dublin is as a Bellator fighter, and when the majority of Irish fighters are signed with Bellator, it seems at the moment, is it a little bit weird kind of when that announcement is made and thinking, okay, well, is that something I should even be thinking of, or is my path just Bellator now, or how do you approach, or how did you react when that news was broken?
I want to be the best fighter I can be, and I want to fight the highest level fighters I can, no matter where that, like, doesn't matter to me what that promotion is at all. It's about being the best guy, and it's about, like, ultimately I do this shit to enjoy my life more, yeah, and it's what promotion I fight in makes very, very little difference to that. If I fight high level guys and I'm beating them, and this is something I'm putting a lot of effort into, then that makes me happy, and those are the main things. Like, would I fucking turn down a UFC contract right now? Like, I'm happy in my Bellator contract. It's a pretty good contract. But at the same time, if they come in, they're fucking fighting hard for me. It's not like I wouldn't go, It's putting yourself in those positions, though. And, like, the main thing I have right now is, like, I've one fight left on my deal. I want to get in and smash that fight. See where it goes.
Yeah. And so with someone who is fighting the best of the best, and the the elite caliber that Bellator have to offer is your good friend and teammate Pedro Carvalho this weekend. So I know you were saying to me there, like, you were living with Pedro for a while, and I suppose, how do you see this matchup going, and can you give us any insight into kind of how Pedro's looking? I saw you put up a post on Instagram, and you will be someone who very much would pride yourself on the work you put in. You were constantly kind of outworking people, and I noticed you said in your Instagram post that there's one person that you could look up to, would be Pedro Carvalho. So what's your take on the whole situation, and just give us a bit of a preview, I guess, of.
Yeah, well, look, it's an incredible story what Pedro's done over the last 3 years. It really is. Like, even if you just break it down into, like, what has actually happened, and going on that 6-fight win streak, having come over as a 5-3 guy, it's amazing. But that didn't just happen. That young lad worked his fucking balls off for that, like, and he's worked to be who he is. Like, it's hard for me to admit this, even because I do pride myself in my work, but he's the hardest worker in the gym, that lad. Like, as in, I look at like, some days I come in, I'm a bit sore, and I'll take 20 minutes to get warmed up. I lived with the guy. He'd go in with a neck injury, like, and he'd be bust up, and he'd be like having his coffee, like, fucking this, and then boom, he's on the mats, and he's an animal, like. And that's just his mindset, like, and his brain is just fucking, it's a beautiful thing to watch him just smash every little target he's had in his own kind of head and get on with his life no matter what. And look, everybody faces their fair share of adversity in this game, but, like, watching that lad jump through hurdles is genuinely inspiring, because he just doesn't get fazed by anything at all. He has no time for fucking excuses. He has no time for any of the bullshit out there. He's just on, no, that's what I'm here to achieve. That's what I'm going to fucking achieve. And he's an inspiration, genuinely. Like, I'm a 30-year-old man. He's fucking 20, whatever, 23, 24. I'm not exactly sure. He's a lot fucking younger than us anyway.
He doesn't look, we were saying he doesn't look 23, 24.
But like watching that lad come in, and like there's very few people in the gym that I feel like I learned from, and definitely I've learned from his mentality. You know, he's been a genuine fucking inspiration.
Obviously, he's coming in. Sorry, go ahead.
Fight. I think it's a fight that suits him matchup wise. I think anyone that tries to be aggressive towards a guy like Pedro is going to get pretty badly fucked up. Like a real technician and a real like jiu-jitsu-y type guy would probably give him more trouble. I think he's going to come at Pitbull, and I think eventually the scrapper is going to come out with Pitbull, and it's going to get fucking very interesting because Pedro's a gas tank for like his engine is incredible. Just the pace he can maintain. I was in watching him do 5.5s and like he's legit as fuck, man. You know, and he could like he wants a new guy every round, and he's able to break new guys in every round. So it like I'd be amazed to see Pitbull deal with him easily. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a good night for Pedro.
And what's the vibe like in the gym? I imagine there's quite a buzz with Pedro fighting for a world title. I mean, we were speaking with Sean Sheehan on the podcast, and he was talking about how kind of like this is like one of the biggest fights for Irish MMA in a long, long time. I know Pedro's not Irish, but he's very much entrenched himself in Ireland, and he's been around for a while and a core member of the team. So this is a huge, apart from say the McGregor fights, this is probably one of the biggest fights that Irish MMA has ever seen.
Yeah, look, I missed that wave. Like I was over in London when Conor was like, you know, making fucking the whole world look at you like go like, whoa shit, this guy's coming out of nowhere. Whereas with Pedro, I've been here for that. Like I've witnessed this, you know, I was living with him while this was happening, so it's a lot more real to me. It's incredible, like it is, Jen, and I think like maybe Irish people aren't quite appreciating it enough. Like he's become a huge thing in Portugal now, and they're kind of really getting behind him. But he's also partially ours, as in like this guy's.
We'll claim him. He's one of us.
I loves the fact that he's living in Ireland, and he loves, you know, he calls himself like as much Irish as he is Portuguese, and they're fucking like Portuguese culture isn't a million miles away from Irish culture anyway. So like, I really feel like fuck it, this is our guy. Like we should be getting fucking behind him, and I hope to God that people do see it as that, and that people do buy into him, because it's a fucking like it's hard to know what's real in a lot of situations these days. Pedro Carvalho is real as fuck.
And well, I really appreciate your time. I just want to ask one more question, and thanks a million for staying with us for so long here. But finally, you spoke with you did an interview with Off the Ball a few weeks ago, and you spoke about Kieran Clark and how there's a lack of kind of positive stories in MMA. So I was just curious, like when it's all said and done, what would you want the Will Fleury story to be?
Oh, that's deep.
You're a deep man. I know you have a good answer for me here.
Well, I suppose I'll go back to what I was saying earlier about, you know, I do this because I want to like myself more. But I think there's so many fucking distractions and bullshit in society these days where people are like obsessed with image and obsessed with the wrong shit. And it's like, actually, man, if you like yourself, none of that shit really matters. And, you know, value the things you have around you, the people in your actual life, you know, not the people online who are fucking whether or not they like you or anybody else. Like, fucking make yourself somebody who you're proud of. And no matter, like, that can be anything. It could be you're the best fucking guy to sand down a bit of wood, or, you know, you're the best guy to fix the roof, or you're the best at doing whatever the fuck it is. But, like, be proud of what you do and be fucking somebody that you, like, I suppose try and become what you aspire to be, as much as that sounds like bullshit, and keep fucking chasing that goal, whatever the fuck that happens to be. And as long as you have this, like, unattainable thing in front of you where you're constantly trying to strive to it and constantly breaking yourself to get there, I don't know, I think it leads to like a very positive mindset, and a very real positive mindset. And I think we don't even value being good at the thing anymore. We value being famous above that, it seems like, you know what I mean? And even like if you look at Bellator as a promotion, that's kind of their attitude and their outlook towards things. And it's like, yeah, grand lads, you have that. I'm not going to get frustrated with it, but like I'm still going to be damn good at the thing. And I give more of a shit about being good at the thing than I do about being fucking famous. I didn't get into this shit to be famous. Like, look, I don't mind doing an interview here and there, and fuck it, like, you know, it's not bad to have people going, hey, Will fucking Fleury. But at the same time, it doesn't mean much to me. Like, it's not what makes me fucking happy in life. What makes me happy in life is like coming in, breaking, like, say if I pull off a slick leg lock and training, or if I fucking know, 2 months ago I wouldn't have been able to deal with that position, I would have gotten trapped here, or I would have been able to, like, I wouldn't have known my way out of here. It's those little things. That's what gets me that fucking buzz and that positive chemistry. And I suppose no matter what that is, if it's not fighting and, you know, in other fucking parts of my life, maybe like when I get to 40 or whatever the fuck time I decide I can't do this shit anymore, it'll be a business thing, it'll be learning that or progressing at something. But that continuous fucking break yourself down and progress mindset and be good at the actual thing you want to be good at and don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. Chase the goal that you have for you and be like, as long as you know genuinely that you're putting a lot of effort in and breaking yourself down to get there, that's the fucking thing you'll be proud of. And as long as you're proud of you, you won't give a shit what anyone else thinks. And I feel like very, very few people, even in MMA, have that fucking mindset. And really, it's very basic, it's very simple, and it's very effective for fucking self-contentment. And once you're content with yourself, you have a lot less fucking problems out there in the world. You know, a lot less people piss you off, there's a lot less reasons to be angry at people. There's a lot less reasons to be fucking embittered with anything. It's just like, nah, you be good at what you're doing. It's all that matters.
Well, I don't think that's bullshit at all.
A little bit, but I probably have a way better point in there somewhere.
No, that was great. I think you've got, Will, I think you've a great mindset. I think that's a fantastic outlook, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Again, congratulations on the win over Justin Moore, and I can't wait to see your next fight. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Hopefully you can get matched up on a card relatively soon. For anyone who might not know where to find you, where can they find you on social media and all that?
Will fucking Fleury on Twitter.
Will fucking Fleury.
And just Will Fleury MMA on Instagram, and then yeah, sure, I have a Facebook page. I think it's just Will Fleury as well on that. And yeah, on like fucking general Google Will Fleury.
The raw bastard, Will fucking Fleury. Thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Cheers.
Cheers, Will.
No bother.